Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
Yeah, my idea was to go Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility, you know, like... Napoleon had that idea, he would conquer the bloody world.
Okay, we're back again. It's the Anfield South podcast. It's me, your boy Slim, and I got a few goons with me today. Boys, introduce yourselves. To my left.
Hi, it's James.
James and Shawn here.
What's up, people? It's Sini.
Chris back in the building.
Yes, good to have you boys. Good to be back again. Everybody have a good Christmas and all of that jazz.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, great
It was a good month.
Good. Well, let's just dive straight into it because we got quite a few things we want to cover today and probably get off our chest as well. So let's talk about the last three games. The game we saw today was Brighton-Liverpool score 1-0. A smashing penalty from our boy Mohamed Salah, who actually won the penalty as well. Boys, it was a tough game, but were there any standout performers in that game? I'm going to come to you first, Shawn. What do you reckon?
For me, I'll probably go with Fabinho. I saw the stats and very impressive. Made a lot of key tackles and whatnot. Made a key block actually that Van Dijk missed early on in the game. Considering the fact that he's not actually a centre back, to come in and also play there and have the game that he had, I thought that was very impressive because I would have played him in the midfield personally and probably had put one yard him there. So for me, I'd go with Fabinho.
Yeah,
it's just rock solid.
Yeah, co-sign that. How about you, Sini, man?
Do you know what? I think I'm going to go with Salah in second half performance, if I'm honest. It might sound cliche or obvious, but second half performance, when I watched him play, first half I thought to myself, maybe something's wrong with him. He didn't look like he was at it. But when it came to second half, he dropped a bit deeper, and I don't know if that's tactics or if he decided to take the initiative and do that. But he dropped a bit deep and he was carrying the ball from deep and making things happen.
It looked like Klopp gave him a bit of a freer rein in the second half, didn't
he just looked like he let him off the leash a bit and he just made a few runs from deep and he's making stuff happen. And then when he got on the ball in the box, everybody knows the rest, you know what I mean? Turn him inside out, shake it all about, and bosh, you got a pen, do you know what I mean? So I've got to say, I'm going to go with Salah, really.
Can't disagree with that, really.
Took the penalty well as well.
He's week in, week out, man, at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, for me, I could go into Chris mode and start having a go at everybody, but points that's all count at this point. You know what I mean? I knew it was going to be a tough game, especially coming off a couple of defeats. We got the 3 points, you know what I mean? It's all that really matters. Like I said, I could go into be negative, but I'm not
It was important to bounce back, wasn't
exactly,
it?
And I think Salah, I'm not sure if Klopp told him to do it because I think he took the initiative. I really do, because at one point, Klopp called him over and was directing him back towards, further up front. So
I feel like the discipline in our squad's quite good, and I think they listen to Klopp. So I have to disagree with you a little bit there. Yeah? I reckon it was a Klopp instruction.
No, initially I did think that, but while watching it, I did see Klopp say
I saw him having a word with him on the sideline. Yeah. So for you as well, Chris, you're saying Salah.
Salah definitely man of the match. I think it's close between him and Fabinho. Consider Fabinho's not a centre back. I definitely got to give it to Salah, but just over Fabinho. Fabinho was my guy though.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I said again, that Brighton game was important to bounce back. A lot of people talking about lost 2 games on the bounce, blah blah blah. So yeah, it was a tough game, but we gritted our teeth just like Klopp does. Got the win. Back 7 points clear at the top of the table.
Feeling good.
Yeah, can't complain with that. On our way in, there was a few haters that said we didn't come in with the same energy. But I don't think it's because we're not happy. I just think, for me, today, I expected the win. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Definitely. So a bit of arrogance from me personally.
For me, I think it's our most important win of the season. I really do. I think because, like I was saying in the WhatsApp group, it's a test of character. You know what I mean? When you come after wins and people, years gone by, the heads would have dropped and we might have, even though we didn't play well, we might have dropped the points or even lost. Do you know what I mean? So I think to come away with the 3 points is a very good sign for where we're heading in 2019.
I just want to say as well, I think that just shows you now the mentality of our squad. Like Chris said, also years, a couple of seasons ago, those kind of game there, we lose 2 on a bounce. Would have probably drawn that game, probably lost.
Yeah.
And I'll give Klopp credit. I think that he's instilled a mentality in the team where it's you know what? we go game by game. Forget that game, you know what I mean?
But
Lost that game.
he called them grown-ups today, didn't he?
You know what I
He
mean?
said-
So
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that was a grown-up. It's the most
Yeah.
grown-up performance we've had. You know what I mean? Indicating that they're learning how to manage games a bit better.
Exactly.
They're not panicking, and they're doing their business. You can't, and it's exactly on point.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the first half as well, the amount of possession we had, 30 minutes in, we had 80% possession.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was one of those games that required patience because they had all the men behind the ball and you couldn't just go gung-ho steaming in because they had all the men back there just parking the bus virtually. So it required patience, and that's maturity as well in the team. Just holding on to maintain the possession, and then just taking your time to build up the play and then get through until you get that chance and then take it. And that's what we done. Got the one goal lead and 3 points in the bag, and Spurs City
Professional
over to you.
performance.
Sign the
They
champions.
didn't have a shot on target. That's
I always whisper it when we put those performances in. I have to
No, you
always
can
whisper
say
it.
it. I've said it.
You know
I've said
what I
it.
mean?
Watford away, Burnley away. Those are the games, man. I'm telling you, those are the games that give me confidence. It's not the fight Arsenal 5-1s. We slap the idiots every year. It's the tough games. You know what I mean? They're really tough games. Like them, you know, the teams that we can't be roughed up. You know what I mean? We can't be pushed off the ball. We got still.
Well, the reason we're kind of waxing lyrical about this game was because obviously before that we played Wolves in the Cup, and there were big changes in that game. But most importantly, we lost. That was our second loss in a row. So I think that the eyes were focusing on us. Just to refresh you lot's memory, I'll go through the lineup for Wolves because it was much changed. We started with a back four with Chris's favourite man Moreno, Fabinho, Lovren, and Camacho came in, and we had Shaqiri, Milner, Keita, Curtis Jones, and then Divock Origi and Daniel Sturridge. I'm going to come to you, James.
Mm-hmm.
That lineup, when you first saw that lineup, what did you think?
I was pretty cool with it, to be honest with you, because we spoke about making changes, wholesale changes, to give the team a rest. But I think we started off really badly, and the hold-up play from the front two was absolutely shocking for me. It was embarrassing. I think the team was, we couldn't have done much more because we ain't got a bigger squad like that, or squad depth is not that great. I wasn't too unhappy about the lineup, but it's just that the kids were really inexperienced. I think what's that? The young guy on the wing,
Curtis Jones.
He looked alright. To be fair to him, he looked alright. But again, I think some of the senior players just wasn't at it at all.
I think,
and the front two for me were just. I know Divock scored, but
when you change the team to that extent and you sprinkle it with a few senior players, don't you feel those senior players have a duty to
100%
guide those youngsters
to get them through the game?
Yeah, get them through the
100%.
game. So those senior players need to show up and be 12 out of 10s just so that the youngsters can grow in confidence, and I don't feel those senior players did that in that game.
I think that was Sturridge's possibly his worst performance in a Liverpool shirt. He was, and I'm a Sturridge guy.
Keita wasn't good at all that day.
Yeah.
Well.
He was. Who? Sorry.
Keita wasn't good at all.
No. Keita was. He didn't have a good game, but at least he was visible at some point. I don't think Sturridge had 5 touches the entire game. It was. I've never, and I'm a Sturridge fan. I just think it was a terrible game for him. He gets his chance, and you want him to do well, but he just.
Do you think though with Sturridge, he's a player who needs the quality around him to make him up his game?
Now he does because he physically he's not.
You say now, but if you look back in 13-14 season where we nearly won the league and we had Suarez, he was scoring goals.
Yeah, but
he had Suarez who was scoring goals, so it was a bit of a competition. Do you think playing with the youngsters, he feels maybe it's beneath him a little bit?
Possibly. I think the attitude was wrong.
Yeah.
The attitude was wrong from a lot of them players. Obviously, coming off the back of Man City, the cup game, they're thinking, I don't really fancy this, I don't know. But the attitude was wrong, and it showed in the game. It really did.
But, okay, so we all know we changed around the team. We lost the game 2-1. I have to ask you, Shawn, how bothered by the FA Cup were you?
I'll be honest with you, don't say I couldn't give a damn. Seriously, I honestly couldn't give a damn. Again, 2 points. My thing was that obviously the senior players didn't step up. You're banging on the doors to try and get into the first team, make an impression. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I mean, I don't care about the cup, but for the players, if they want to get into the first team, this is a game where it could be like, you know what, if I show out, who knows, like in the next game I might start further down the line. Secondly, it was good for the young players to get a run out. I think the centre back, was his name, is it Hanover?
Yeah, the guy who came on, he came over for Lovren because Lovren got injured.
Well, like, and Curtis Jones again.
16-year-old.
Yeah, and Curtis Jones as well, like he made a decent impression. Yeah. So those are the positives of the game, if you want to say. Other than that, I'll be honest with them personally, I really couldn't give a damn. Like, I mean, Lovren will be back next week, so there was no like major injuries.
Yeah.
But again, the senior players, man, like guys like Keita, for example, he's a guy like that should be personally like starting in our first 11.
Yeah. But he didn't do anything to justify a position in the starting 11 after that game.
I mean, even Shaqiri, a guy who I like a lot.
Yeah,
poor game.
Non-existent. Yeah.
Apart from that, he had that free kick. Whew, that was a mean free kick.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was close.
We can't have players on the pitch just for set pieces. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, one thing I would say though is that Wolves are no mugs.
No, they're not.
At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? That's a hard game to be thrown in as a youngster, and even if we were playing our full team, you know that Wolves are going to give you a good game. So. They've taken points off of City, got a draw. They've taken points off of Chelsea. They beat Chelsea, and
beat Spurs,
do you know what I mean? They don't give you any time. They hound you. There's a lot of pressure when you're playing against them, and it's away as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough game to come into, and you're asking a lot of the kids.
I hear you fully, Sini, but I don't feel. I think Shawn hit the nail on the head. Most Liverpool fans don't give a damn about their FA Cup, I don't think it's the result or anything. We all, like you said, I agree with what you're saying. Wolves are always going to be up for the fight, X, Y, and Z. But I think. Personally, I wanted to see a better performance. Even if we lost, I think that's the most upsetting thing. I think the performance wasn't there, and I think that's what's upsetting, because you're looking at Man City and their squad. Like, okay, we've got a good squad in terms of numbers. Would you agree? But I think the quality of our squad is no way near ready to challenge on 3-4 fronts.
You can see the drop off in quality from the first team to the second team. It's just like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? It's literally like going from like obviously like the first team to like bloody the under 18s. You know what I mean?
I just think it's the second string, so to speak. I don't think we've got as much leeway as with the first team. For me, I wouldn't say that I don't care about the cup, but personally, when I see our team and I see Moreno and Lovren in the same team, I can't help but go, please, Black Jesus, sprinkle a little bit of joy in us. You know what I mean? Because I mean, for them two guys, I wanted the performance was disappointing, very disappointing.
All right, cool. Well, it's probably a little bit sore to talk about still. For me, it is, because we lost our 0. But let's go to the Man City game. Man City Liverpool lost it 2-1 at the Etihad. I'm gonna come to you, Sini. Run me through your thoughts on that game quickly.
In the build-up to the game, I was confident. I felt as though we had City's number, because obviously City had to come out and they had to play because they needed a win, and I felt that was set up perfectly for us to hit them on the counter, sit back, absorb any pressure, and just break on them and score. And you know what? If it wasn't for the pubic hair that stopped that ball going across, do you know what I mean? I don't know what the measurements were, but it was such
1.2 centimeters away from
like
going in.
11 millimeters.
It was one something from going across the line.
Ridiculous. But I think if we score that goal, it's a completely different game. And it was the build-up as well, the play and the incisive passing and the way we cut City open to create that chance was beautiful. I think if we score that goal, it is a different game. I think I was a bit disappointed that we conceded the second goal in the manner that we did. And I think we could have done better with the defensive side there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not anywhere else.
That's Sane's a little bit of a specialist. If I get my words out at that. Yeah.
Left foot. You know what he wants to do. Left foot. Put him on his right. You don't ever let this geezer get on his left foot. You don't let him be on his left to cross. You don't let him be on his left to shoot. Schoolboy. Do you know what I mean? You don't ever give him that time. And I think the moment you shut off that left angle, he doesn't go for that shot. He turns back. He passes it back. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit disappointing that we've let something like that happen. Give him credit. It was a great finish. You couldn't put it anywhere else because it's gone off the post and in. But I still think that letting him be on his left and have the opportunity and time to take that
James,
shot, a bit criminal.
The performance from the team in that game,
I thought was really good. Actually, it was high energy, good attitude.
you might need that.
I just thought it was a really good performance from us. I think we matched them man for man. most throughout the whole 90 minutes. They just wanted that little bit more extra than we did, I think. They're at home as well, and I think the fans really
the fans really helped them. I mean, I've never heard the Etihad like that before.
It was at Anfield or something like that.
Never heard the Etihad full stop.
They were really going for it, and you could see that it gave them that extra bit, that extra little percentage to just get above us. But I wouldn't have been happy. I wouldn't have been disappointed with a draw. I thought we could have got a point, naturally.
Yeah.
Just that we just lost that little bit of concentration when Sini scored, and then that was it. That was the game. But I was really pleased with the performance, to be honest with you.
The lineup for the City game, we went 4-3-3, didn't we?
We did,
And we went with our favourite midfield of Gini Wijnaldum, James Milner, and Jordan Henderson.
All right, to be fair, considering.
They did, but I think the general consensus in the WhatsApp group was that there was no thrust from midfield. It was a bit too conservative. I think, Chris, you...
Yeah, I felt we gave them the initiative by selecting that midfield. Klopp played it safe, and Klopp is known for his manic style. He's not known for playing it safe. I think you stick to what you know. City were afraid of us. City are afraid of us. There's no doubt in my mind. Klopp makes Guardiola nervous, and I think if we'd have picked a more dynamic midfield, we would have won that game. Do you know what I mean? We would have won that.
More dynamic. We're talking about one change here. Is it Fabinho for Henderson?
Fabinho should have started 100%. 100% Fabinho should have started.
I would have been throwing Kit in there. Again, you need to understand that he's one of our like big name signings. I know it's a big game to come into, but you got to play sometime, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I agree with you.
If we lose the game, sorry, Chris. If we lose the game, then it is where it is. Like, at least we've gone for it.
That's my point.
You're going there.
I said it. We had everything to gain and nothing to lose out of that game.
The term I use is going for their necks. We should have gone for their necks, and if we lost, then we lost. But like I said, I think they are afraid of us. Genuinely, you could see celebrations. They were towards the end. They were celebrating balls going out of play and stuff like that. They were on edge. It was like it was a Champions League final for them. Do you know what I mean? We rattled them. They're genuinely afraid of Liverpool. And the one slight on the game for me is that we didn't go for it from the start, which I hoped we would have.
Well, we took their 0 last season, and they went on to win the league. They've taken our 0 this season. To be continued.
Good point.
To be continued.
To be continued. I like that thinking.
So we're in January. We're halfway through the season. After today's game, we're 7 points clear at the top, with City and Tottenham still to play. I just want to ask a few questions. Best game of the season so far, Sini.
What's my favourite game?
Rest you boys start thinking.
I got one already.
Slapping Arsenal, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a league game.
I enjoyed slapping Arsenal.
I did.
I really enjoyed it.
did.
I was sitting with my best mate at the time, he's a big Arsenal fan, and when they scored, it was the look on his face and the messages coming through. I was getting at that minute, and then
That was
I think
quality.
by the time everyone had pressed send, we had scored and then scored again. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like, how many are you gonna get? How many are you gonna get? I think that game I enjoyed. I think it's got to be my favourite game so far. I enjoyed that game the most. Slapping Arsenal's always enjoyable. I think BT Sport have actually made a campaign on advertising over our fixture with Arsenal. That's what their billboards are, and that's what their draw is. If they do any billboards, it's our game against Arsenal that they want to put up, because that's the fixture that they know they're going to get the goals.
Society
and
loves
entertainment.
carnage, innit? Society loves carnage. You know, when we play them, it's a beatdown. So
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
What about you, Sean, man?
Boy, for me, I'm gonna go Man United, man.
Oh, my guy.
I'm gonna go Man
My
United.
guy. That was my game.
I can't believe with Arsenal. Listen,
Yeah,
that Man United game right there. You know what I mean?
Do you know, sorry to cut you, Sean. I think I understand the Arsenal thing, because obviously we're Southern Liverpool fans and we're probably surrounded a lot by, the Southern teams.
Chatty gooners.
I'm with you, Sean. Go
My
on,
thing is
man.
just that obviously United, obviously the bigger rivals.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we just hate them, and yeah, man, just to go there and just give them the beating that we gave them. Shaqiri come on, 2 goals. Like they just, I mean, listen, the score was 3-1. That game could have easily been like 6.
Trust me.
Easily could have been like
Trust
6.
me.
The manner that we just beat them off, like Jesus. You know what I
We
mean?
haven't beat them in a while as well, like, so it was just sweet for me as well.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that win.
No, definitely. So I'm gonna go with the Man United game, and on top of that, obviously the following day, what happened?
Sacked
Just you got
Mourinho,
the sack. So,
yeah.
boy, listen.
I was disappointed. I wanted him to stay there a bit
Oh,
longer.
of course.
man.
But,
Maintain that misery for them, for them idiots.
but just knowing that game right there led to also the end of his managerial reign at Man United.
We may have sparked their revival.
I think Klopp's got a history of getting Mourinho sacked, doesn't he?
Do you know what, right? Revival or not, do you know what? One of the funniest moments in this podcast was Chris playing the burial music after the United game. Like, that was quality. So let them have their little mini revival. Like I don't look behind me when I'm driving and walking and that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what's going on back there. Let them fight it out. But
And plus, I'm not gonna catch us. So
yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying, so-
whatever, man. Let them do their thing.
True.
Okay, Chris. Question for you. So far, halfway point of the season, who's your best player so far?
Has to be Van Dijk. I think until he got injured, Gomez was running him a very, very close for first, because I think he's been very impressive. But I have to say Van Dijk. Van Dijk, no matter who his partner is, maintains the excellent defense. You see him today screaming at Trent from the cameraman has focused on it.
Yeah, that was
Screaming,
yeah.
and we haven't had that in years, and I think that's the main reason why we're on top of the league, because no matter who he plays with, he turns up and he's a Rolls Royce every game. You know what I mean? He coaches everybody on the pitch. Big guy. 75 million. People were saying it was too much money.
Absolutely class.
275 million right about now. You get me?
simple. Trust.
What about you, James, man?
I'd have to go with Van Dijk as well.
Yeah.
But I obviously want to shout Salah as well because he's scoring the goals. But I think Van Dijk's definitely tips it for me as well. At the minute. He's just class, man. He's a joy to watch as well, man. He's class, man. He's absolute class.
Fair enough.
He's really good on the ball. He's good to watch. You know what I mean? He's a good player, man. He's great.
He's got everything, all the attributes. He's like the Thanos of centre backs.
That's a good shout.
Listen, Sini, that is a
Wind,
line, you know.
fire, water. He's got all of them. Your
He's
powers
the
combined, you
Thanos.
get Van Dijk.
He's-
You know what I mean?
You know, I
That's what
love
I'm
when
saying.
people are like, they had a moment with the Wolves game we played in the league, and Traore, who's a speed demon, and he's just jogging. No panic. He's not doing a Lovren or a Moreno. He's just strolling.
Do you reckon he sweats like Van Dijk? Do you
If
reckon
he
he
does,
after
it's
the
champagne.
game? Like,
You know what I mean?
I reckon that guy's bone dry. you know.
So like him, you see like him, his hair still looking fresh.
That's
man.
what I'm
You know
saying,
bro?
Bro,
So,
I'm telling
Was
you.
it Dini
Trust
said that
me.
he can do everything and his hair smells nice or something like that?
I reckon the sweat comes down and he just looks up and he goes, it just flies back. You know what I mean?
He's a boss, man, seriously.
Yeah, no, he's class. He has been class.
Great signing.
the thing is that everyone says Van Dijk, and again, like rightfully so. I don't think anyone could argue that Van Dijk's been probably our best player. But I'm gonna throw Alisson in there as well, because again, Van Dijk, obviously we all know what he brings and the attributes that he has, but we haven't had a top keeper since when? Say Pepe Reina.
Yeah.
And you see some of the saves that he's made. I mean, save against Burnley, save against Man City. I know that we were losing the game, but obviously that game they could have obviously just.
Yeah,
Done it. You know what I
And
mean?
he like orchestrates the defence as
Trust
well.
me, you know what I mean?
He's a big voice.
The way
back
he
there.
can just.
He had a couple dodgy moments though. That not in that game, but
Yeah, no, obviously previous, but
Yeah.
again, since then, like he sorted out obviously his mistakes. His distribution from the goal is just great. I mean,
remember his distribution, like the pass for the Burnley goal, the last
yeah,
Burnley goal as
the
well.
Burnley
like,
game, also for the Arsenal game as well, where I think he played it to Mane and then I think it was Salah. Sorry, but yeah, I think that he's a name that you got to throw in there as well. Again, Van Dijk, I'm not arguing that he's not been our best player, but I think Alisson, I think he's probably been,
Yeah, props to Alisson.
you know what I mean?
Mention.
Yeah, honourable mention. So
So I guess really the next question kind of has just been answered, because I was gonna say like standout signing, but I guess that'll be Van Dijk then. Do you know what I mean?
What you mean in terms of 2018 or?
Yeah, well, yeah, just in terms of all of Klopp's signing so far, if you like, do you know what I mean? But more this season. Last
This season, I'd
yeah.
say Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Overall, Salah's banged in them goals, man. He's, you know what I mean?
Unreal,
He's broken records, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So you can't discount him. And for me, I think his best signing overall, the Robotron, man.
Wow.
It's £8 million.
it's crazy.
£8 million.
that's one of the stills of like the century, man.
I'm
Seriously.
telling you, £8 million. You can't say. But people are talking about being the best left back in Europe now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to go.
I
You know
was
what I mean?
totally against that signing as well, man.
No, I remember saying in the group. I remember saying in the group that I've seen this guy play.
Who's this Andy Robertson guy from Hull?
No, I watched him. I watched the guy play when he was at Hull. And one thing I look for in players, if you've got the ability to learn, if you've got a work ethic.
He goes
and
again with his intelligence.
I'm telling you, IQ, you cannot go past IQ. There's been a lot of players. Dennis Bergkamp weren't the fastest, weren't the most athletic. Zidane weren't the fastest, but them guys there, man. Einstein on the pitch,
3 steps ahead of
I'm telling you,
everybody.
Robotron is different, man. It's bionic. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? I don't even know what his numbers are in terms of distance over the course of a match, but you know what I mean?
They'll be up there. I reckon they'll be up there.
He's top guy, man. Top guy, Robotron. Big up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Another question I want to ask is Klopp's influence on the team. How great is it? How big is it? How big of an influence is Jurgen Klopp himself on the players individually and as a collective?
Massive, I'd say.
Massive.
Huge.
I think Klopp. I think it sounds like Klopp, and I think I'm guessing here. I think he gets respect because I think he's a good guy. I think away from football, I think he's one of them guys that would hope. To me, it comes across. He's happy. He wants you to be happy in life. That's what it comes across to me. And I think when people can see that you're a genuine person and that you give a damn more beyond football, then I think they will run through. Because you know what, this guy's got my back. And if he makes a decision, it's not personal. It's footballing reasons. And I think players will respect that.
Yeah.
I think that's key with the respect the players have for Klopp, because they, like you said, they will run through brick walls for him. And I think you need your players to believe in your manager like that in order to win titles, win trophies. Do you know what I mean? All it takes is one seed of doubt to spread through the whole camp. And I mean, we've seen it before with your Chelseas, with their managers, and how one senior player doesn't like something and then it goes to pot and then he ends up out on his ear. And I think
Plus he's about 6'4" and crazy, so I don't think he might cut somebody, you know what I mean?
I think he's got good relationships with these players.
Yeah.
He's got good relationships individually and as a team unit. So he's doing a great job at the minute, to be honest with you.
It takes the heat off the team as well, I think, as well. When he does his interviews, he knows how to play the cameras, he knows how to play the press, you know what I mean? He knows the right things to say. No interview that they do with Klopp is ever boring or uninteresting. They're always keen and they're hanging off every word he's saying. He's an interesting guy, do you know what I mean? And he always comes out with unorthodox things that you don't think he's going to say, and his replies, you know, he's very intelligent, very intelligent. Even throughout the course of this season, a lot of people have been trying to say, you think you're going to win it? What's the momentum like in? What's the feeling like in the change room? And he's just smartly answered all of those questions,
batting it back
without saying to them, we believe we're going to win. He's just saying, look, we're just taking it game by game. You do what you got to do, we do what we got to do.
I think that's filtered down to the fans as well. That thing, that ethos of game by game, because everybody's saying it, and we've said it on there before, like it's a cliche, yada yada yada, but it's so true. And I think we are all believing it in the sense of, well, Klopp's taking it game by game, so we're going to take it game by game. I think I think as a collective, I can't speak for the whole fan base, but I feel like us, Anfield South, as a collective, we are on that wavelength for
100%
game by
you have
game.
to, man. You know what I mean? You can't get obviously too overzealous and think that, boy, you know what, like it's January now, we're 7 points clear, we're gonna obviously win the league. So
it's tough.
I've had Arsenal fans say to me, you're going to win the league. You're going to win the league. And I can be saying to them, slow down, man.
But they've got no emotion involved in it, so they can say that.
They're not tied up.
They're not tied in there. And for me, I want it to win, us to win, not just because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I want us to win for Klopp as well, because I think he is perfect for Liverpool. I think that guy, if you could design a manager for Liverpool Football Club, it would be Jurgen Klopp.
I
Do you know what I mean?
answer that.
The thing is, as well, he's actually, you know, when you try again, he's been to 3 or 4 finals now. He's not won, so he needs to get this over the line now. Basically,
I admit,
I think it could be his time.
Do you know what? That's perfectly saying that, James. I was going to ask the question: if Klopp doesn't win anything this season, is he still the man for the job?
Absolutely.
I think so.
boy,
I think so.
Ooh, what are you saying, Sean?
listen.
You don't want to start over again.
I'm not saying like that we got to do a rebuild and whatnot, like, but you got to understand like that you've been to 3 finals, you lost all 3. Right now, like, we're top of the league, 7 points clear. We're in one of the best positions that we've ever been in, God knows how long. I'm not saying to sack the man, but serious questions need to be asked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You could argue though.
You know what I mean? Like right now, like this squad is probably the best squad we've had since the 08-09 season.
Excuse me.
So you got to think stuff like if you don't come out at least winning a trophy, if you don't win a league, okay, cool. But say you win the Champions League, for example, then cool. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, you won a major trophy.
I know he's been to 3 finals, but you could argue that he's overachieved in the first 2 finals. because the teams he had weren't great getting to them finals. I think he's built us up into a formidable team, and the league is competition is more competitive now than ever. You listen. I saw a report the other week where they were outside Barcelona's training ground after the Champions League draw, and these guys were static. They didn't draw Liverpool.
Oh, of course.
We're literally feared in Europe across that. We haven't been like that for
a long time.
Decades, man.
Since we had Rafa, like, you know,
Do
of
you know
course.
what I mean? It's competitive.
I don't even think under Rafa we were feared amongst Europe.
I think we
Do
were.
you know what? We won it. We did win it in 2005, but we didn't have a great team. I don't think. I don't personally believe there was fear. Yeah. Let's not go into it, but I don't believe there was genuine fear. I believe they respected Rafa and they knew what Rafa could do, which means they respected us because they knew we were organised. But I don't think they feared playing us.
Yeah. I disagree slightly because
I do as well.
Rafa to me was a tactician. You knew, like, like come certain games, like, you see certain players in the team and be like, boy,
Okay,
like, what's he playing for? And then
but
pull out a great result.
to me, that's more Rafa. I feel like this team is feared. This team's feared more because of the way we play. They know how we can hurt them at any given moment. But I don't feel like under Rafa people thought we were capable of hurting them. They knew we were capable of digging out a result or being absolutely resolute and behind the ball and defensively solid. But I don't think there was any ever fear of us
now.
like shooting them down like how we doing to teams now. You see what I'm saying?
Again, I'm not saying that Klopp's done a bad job. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that slated him with that. But again, questions have to be asked. You know what I mean? Seriously, like three finals, 3 losses. We're in a great position right now. Like to also win the league again, one game at a time.
Yeah.
Let's see.
we got to keep him on his toes.
I can respect what you're saying, Sean,
Yeah,
but
we got
I
to keep him on
think
his toes.
James was just saying before, like, I don't want to start again. I don't want to keep going.
That's me.
Merry-go-round.
That's me as well. I don't see another guy coming in with another ethos. You know, getting the players on board, getting the best out of. The things about what I like about Klopp is that we don't have to have a £250 million budget. He can get your Robertsons and make them better players. Do you know what I mean? He's even made Wijnaldum a better player, as much as I'm not the massive fan of his, but he can improve players like that. He can coach them into being better players.
Ultimately, that's what he is, isn't it? He's a
coach.
really good coach, isn't he? I mean, obviously he's a manager and he's a good manager, but ultimately I think he's a great coach. So
I definitely don't want to start again, though. I can't be doing this too much.
You know what? Even if we didn't win the league, every single season under Klopp, there has been progression. That's one thing that you can say. Do you know what I mean? There has been progression. From the first season, we reached the final, we lost. The next season, we reached the Champions League final. Yeah, we lost. This season, we're mounting a serious title challenge.
I think all that's
you know
helped.
What I mean? And then that's still another level of progression. So even if he doesn't win, I know some people say, well, he hasn't got any trophies, but I think the time that you start to question a manager is when you start to regress. You know what I mean? You start to go backwards.
Great point.
But we have not gone backwards under him yet. So even if we didn't win this season, we still have made a progression. Not the one that we all want or feel we deserve, but we have still made a progression.
Amen. Amen, brother.
That was
a sermon, Sally. That's what I'm saying.
Because I think
hard right there, brother.
I'm starting from this season where I'm actually measuring, because for me, if you look at the teams that we lost in finals, they were not good teams. We overachieved getting to them finals. Not the Champions League last year. I'm talking about the Sevilla.
Europa League final. To me, I think we should have won again. The Europa League final.
Yeah, but if you look at them players that we had in there, they were not very good. Klopp literally gave their batteries in their back to get to that point. They were not good players.
The team weren't terrible. Like, come on, like,
Lovren and Moreno.
The team weren't terrible.
Mignolet. Them guys.
Saka was all over it as well.
Them guys.
But he was playing. But look, these guys were playing well though.
That's the battery, but that's what I'm trying to say. This is the sign of a good coach when you get players who are average, which they are,
and you get the best out.
And you get the best out of them. That's what I'm trying to say. Now we've got a good team.
Okay.
If you fail with this team, then you start measuring them and say, okay, maybe you could have done better. But like Sini was saying, there's been progression.
Quickly then, boys. Team rating so far, halfway through the season, practically. Team rating out of 10. Give me a number.
I'm gonna go with a 9. Only because we've lost one game. Otherwise, it'd be a 10 for me, because to go unbeaten for so long and be top. If you asked me or gave me this at the beginning of the season to take this, I'd have bit your hand off, threw your fingers in the bin. You know what I mean? I'd have taken this all day long. So I think
great shout.
You can't really ask for much more than this, regardless of how we've been playing. We are where we are. Do you know what I mean? There's no other place I'd rather be. Do you know what I mean?
I'll go 8. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? I think
that was going to be my number. You nicked my number.
I think considering all things like I said, like Sini said, you know, top of the table after January, who would have thought that? You know what I mean? And also considering the fact that certain players that are still being picked, like in the midfield, and we're still playing the way that we're playing. You could say we're kind of overachieving, if you will. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go for 8.
So you were gonna go 8 as well, yeah, James?
Well, I think I'll go with Sini's number now. I'll go for 9 now. I'll go for 9 now. I think. I think it's been a good season so far. No complaints. A few issues. I mean, we've touched on it, the midfielders and that. But we're doing all right. We're top of the league, so we're in a good place, man.
Okay, so everyone's saying a good 8s and 9s. There's good scores. Everyone's talking about this title challenge. That's what I want to come on to next, the title challenge. And what do you guys think is the Achilles heel of our team now in this title challenge? What's the thing that you think might be the thing that takes us down, man?
Injury to Van Dijk.
Ooh.
That's the only thing.
I can't believe you said it out loud, bro.
I'm worried about that. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
This is wood, innit?
This is wood.
More like chipboard, but you know what? Touch the floor.
Yes and no. I'd say Van Dijk, but I'm not as concerned if Gomez is fit because I think Gomez
is a good deputy, isn't he?
He's a good deputy. I think he reads the game well enough to whether he's dominant enough or he's got the experience enough to get
it's the leadership
Lovren to behave himself, because I think Lovren might listen to Van Dijk a bit more than Gomez, because Gomez, we all know that Lovren thinks he's the best defender in the world.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah,
But James, is that a problem? The lack of like Gomez is injured, the lack of a good deputy to Van Dijk is that a big problem for us?
I think so. I think we need to dip into the market this month, even if it's just a loan guy or signing someone that's in the Premier League that's got experience. I do think we need one more person in the CB area, in the centre back area, without a shadow of a doubt. But I know we got these guys coming back. But I'd add to what Sini said. I think it's an injury to any of the spine. For me, the spine now is Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah. Any of them three get injured, and we could be.
There's no middle. There's no middle of that spine, boy.
Fabinho's coming. He's getting there.
I think Fabinho
he will be
eventually.
He will be the. I think it's too early to say he's just part of the spine at the minute, but he will be part of the spine.
I'm a lot more confident when he's in midfield.
He's looking the part now. He's looking the part now. I must say I'm disappointed in Keita at the moment. I must say, and I can see why he's been sat down.
We all are, because he's got talent. It's obvious,
but you know what? I think under Klopp, I'm willing to give any player he decides to bring in a decent amount of time. I'll give Keita the whole season if need be.
Absolutely,
I'll wait till next season because I feel like I just fully believe if Klopp sees something in you and brought you in, then you've got. Even if I can't see it, you've got something.
To be honest, I've watched him. I was one of his biggest fans. I watched him last year in Germany. You've seen flashes of it, and the guy's immensely talented. I think he just needs to be a bit braver, have a bit more confidence. I think at the minute he's come into a big club and he's just looking around, might a little bit starstruck. But once he settles down, he's seen some of the stuff he does. He's one of the few midfielders we got who can turn on the ball and drive. We saw today in the Brighton game little slight annoyance with Wijnaldum in the first half. Wijnaldum and Henderson in the first half, maybe dawdling on the ball a bit too much and not getting forward or not trying to drive. And I think Keita is the guy to do that. He just needs to.
That's perfect, Chris, because I was going to ask you the question, like playing the midfield of Wijnaldum and Henderson, is that an Achilles heel of ours, playing that midfield, playing them two holders together?
Yes, in most games, yes. What I have noticed though is that Henderson plays well when he's sat alongside Fabinho. For some reason, I think Fabinho gives him the confidence to be a bit more offensive with his passing. I think the Watford game, and there's another game, I can't remember which one it was, but they look settled together. They look like, the midfield, they had control over the midfield, which I like. They were dictating tempo, which we haven't done a lot over Klopp's reign. I think we've been a bit frantic here and there, and we've been aggressive and scored goals, but we haven't controlled games from start to finish too many times. And a few times I've seen that happen is when them two play together. I think they work well together for some strange reason. Don't know why.
Fair enough.
I think it's because he's seeing Fabinho play the ball forward. He's thinking, oh, that looks good. Maybe I can try that. That's what it is. He sees him play foot. Maybe I can do that.
Like his food or
He
something.
jumps over the wall. You think,
Jerk chicken.
do you know what I mean? No, that looks nice. Yeah, maybe I can do that. I think that's what it is. And just giving him a bit of confidence. Look, if you play a ball forward, maybe something might happen. He just sees Fabinho do it, gives him a bit of confidence, and that's what it is. But when him and Ronaldo are next to each other, it's like 2D Lego, man. It's just sideways. Sideways.
Bro, it's the blind leader, the blind, bro.
Whoa.
It's it, Bird Box. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see what's going on in front of them. You know what I mean?
But what I will say though, I know it's like a slight detour. Wijnaldum, I'm not going to go over what his failings. The one thing that, or one of you guys can answer, what is this thing he does where the ball gets trapped underneath his feet and he's looking for it? What is that?
I've seen it a couple of times, but do you know what? I think when it's at that level, I think what it is that he's thinking about the next thing. So when you're thinking of, he's thinking about, right, the ball's coming, what am I going to do with it? And he forgets that the ball's actually at his feet, maybe. Do you know
Compare
what I mean?
him to what Keita does when he's first touched, generally.
Yeah, I know Keita rolls it out of his feet and he's looking forward and he's driving forward. But you know what?
Let's cut Winnie some slack.
Wijnaldum's role's been changed, yeah. So we'll give him the slack. Klopp perseveres with him and sees something in him. So for me, I'm going to put my faith in him because I've got faith in Klopp. And I'm just going to let it ride out.
I just want to say something regarding the midfield three. I think Paul said it in a group. I think Paul said that we could get to the Champions League final and he will play those three. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think that's one of my criticisms with Klopp is that he's always seems to go back to that same midfield.
He's loyal to some players, very loyal to some players.
Lallana, Lovren, to be like two of his favourites. To me, again, I go back to the City game. We could have won that game if you'd just been a bit braver. You know what I mean? Stop sticking with that same midfield three.
It's smart though. I know why he does it. I think he's thinking, we've got a squad, and if we have injuries, there's no point in destroying somebody's confidence because you might need them at some point. I think that's what it is.
And it was a busy Christmas period as well.
Yeah, so I think that's the only thing I can think of.
You have to keep legs fresh as well.
It's frustrating for fans because we've all said many occasions. I think we've only won once with that midfield with Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Milner. The frustrating thing is about the City games that Milner didn't look fit in that game.
Not at all.
No,
so I'm surprised
he rushed back in when he.
But saying that, out of those three, he's the only one that could probably like create anything. You know, get an assist, probably get a goal here and there.
Yeah, he's capable of whipping the ball in.
He's hardcore.
So I'm not that hard on James Milner in honesty because I think he's been a decent signer for us.
He's had a good season as well.
I'm harder on the.
Well, he came on a free, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, he came on a free.
Yeah, so whatever you get from him is a bonus.
There you go. Like, if anything, I'm hard on the other two because when Yardam, to me, I don't like him at all personally, but he's got ability. You know what I mean? Like, and like we've seen it in patches. He's just like put it all together.
He's had a decent season.
As soon as he puts in that orange jersey, you see it as well. Yeah, so you know I can understand the frustrations, but like I said, man,
he's had a decent season.
And Klopp likes him.
A few monster games recently. Was it the Arsenal game?
He played well against Arsenal and he was good against Napoli.
He did. Did he play against United? I think he had a half decent game against United.
Yeah.
So there you go. Like I said, man, in Klopp we trust, so in Ronaldo we trust. Boys, is the lack of attacking options to replace the front three a problem for us as well? Because I mean, attacking options off the bench, they haven't got them in abundance, and I think the Wolves game showed up the lack of quality in our squad depth. So, God forbid, touch wood, anything happens to the front three. I mean, Shaqiri can do either side, but other than that, we don't really have anything. Is that a problem going forward on this title challenge?
Absolutely,
definitely.
Again, I mean, Chris said it. I think I mean, that could be in the summer, but we need a winger as well. Someone that's naturally a winger, I think would be a good option. But up front, I mean, I keep going back to the hold-up play or the front two against Wolves. For me personally, I want to see a different option to a diminutive type of, player that we have. I want something different to what we have. Someone that's even taller, that can hold up the ball like last 20 minutes,
that's
coming
Divock,
on.
No, that's Divock.
Well,
I don't think he's good enough.
Yes, Solanke.
He got rid of him. I mean, he got rid of Solanke.
I'd love to see him get a striker in that's just totally different to what we have, and that can hold up the.
I just had a controversial thought.
Go on.
Somebody nasty, Diego Costa.
Come on, bro, 100%.
Of course.
100%.
Somebody-
100%.
We wouldn't take that.
A bit of
100%.
nasty, and he's not. I don't think he's getting in the Atletico team. Is he playing?
Really? Is he playing?
Yeah,
I haven't
I
really
think
watched
he's
Spanish
struggling
football.
a
Spanish
little
football's
bit
not
over
on
there, but
the
he's
Sky anymore. So
he's a little
it's on
bit-
11 Sports or something, isn't it?
He's
So
got.
I'm missing out on Spanish
He's
football a lot.
got it. So I think he might be like a little
something
shout.
like that in that ilk, that mould. Someone that's a bit taller, and because when we put crosses in, no one's heading the ball when we put the crosses in. I want to see. I would like to see someone just totally different.
Costa, you know.
Costa's
That would be
Costa's
a monster
Yeah,
signing.
I'm not a fan of his,
That would
but
be a
we need
monster
somebody who
signing.
can kick a man, drag a man, little
Yes.
dirty something,
Bully,
nod
a
it
bully
in,
boy.
something. Listen, 29 years, it's all this being nice thing. No, I
bully
want it
boy,
by any
man,
means.
Get it over the line by any means
Listen,
necessary.
get our Malcolm
yeah.
on by any means. You know what I mean?
I totally
I think
agree.
somebody like that who's got a bit of, you know, who can push past a player and hammer it in or something like that. You know what I mean?
100%.
I think somebody like that
100%.
might be a shout.
No, definitely.
Well, seeing as we're on it, then that's that's what I was going to ask about as well. That was one of my questions as well. Like the transfers, like do we need to invest in January? And before one of you boys jump in, I'm just going to say I've already said it. I don't feel we need to invest in anyone in January. I think the harmony's good right now. I think our starting 11's good. I think whilst the quality of our cover isn't great, I just don't feel like someone coming in January is a good idea because they're probably coming in with the idea of playing, and I don't want anyone's nose put out of joint. But I think you guys have got other ideas. Sean's looking at me like he wants to hurt me. So, so go on, Sean. Go on, Sean.
Nah, listen,
man.
I just think like that again. I think like James said it. Obviously, touch with like nothing happens to like obviously Mane, Salah or Firmino. After that, you putting in, putting in what Origi. You know, I like Sturridge like it, but again, Sturridge can't be counted on for a full season. After those two, who do you have? You got what? A youth player coming in? To me, I think it's vital like that we go out and get another attacker. I think in the centre back position, I think right now we're okay. Even though I wouldn't mind bringing in another centre back as well. But that's not the area that to me like alarms me so much. It's that if Salah or Firmino or Mane get injured, and depending if it's a serious injury, then can Origi and Sturridge be counted on to obviously fill that void? And I think going out and getting an attacker like Costa's a great shout. I mean, like, again, people might say you play for Chelsea, blah blah blah.
Don't care.
I don't care about previous
He's a
club.
mercenary.
As long as it's not Manchester United, bro.
I don't care.
Right.
Even
The guy is
if he's
physical.
Man United, if Eric Cantona comes out of retirement,
You
and
taking him, yeah?
scores the goal that wins us the league, I'm taking it. I don't
There's
care.
even been talks of us. I don't see it happening, but obviously having Coutinho coming back. Now people will
Do
say
you know what?
now people,
I heard that rumour, you know, and part of me was a bit like, do one, you bastard. But then part of me was like, what?
people forget Slim what he was on like before he left. People
what I'm
like,
saying?
oh,
He was
nah,
on
I would have
stuff.
been. He was on
He was on
He was
stuff.
on bits.
The
He
only
was the
reason-
orchestrator.
the only reason-
Yeah.
He was the go-to man
He
before he
was.
Yeah.
Give
I'm
the
gonna
ball to
contradict
Phil
myself.
off that left side. Bam,
And he's-
like done
he's
two
special.
man. Whack.
And do you know what
top,
as well?
boy,
His link-up play with Salah was
yeah, it was good.
ridiculous.
I'm going to contradict myself on that one. I mentioned Eric Cantona, but for me, I'm going to say, I thought about it, we've gone back and forth, but I'm going to say no, simply because of the way he left. He didn't even show us the respect to wait till the end of the season. He wanted it that
Oh
bad.
no, I disagree with that.
I think Klopp wanted him to stay till the end of the season.
We did. We tried to make him the captain.
Exactly.
We tried to
And
offer him
he
more money.
completely
But he did.
disrespected
He
Liverpool
didn't.
in
He
that
got
regard.
146
and that's why part of me was.
You can't complain. We got
Can't complain,
146. We
bro.
got
You know what I'm saying?
146.
No,
what?
but it's for me. You show the club and the fans the respect. You play to the end of the season, you get clapped off and go about your business. Liverpool fans are being happy. He just said, "No, I don't care."
I think
what
that's
were you
all
going to do. What
do
were
you
you
know
going
what,
to do?
Chris? I have to agree with you there. That's all we asked for. We just wanted him to stay to the end of the season and just show us that respect because I think Liverpool put Phil
him on the
Coutinho
map.
on a pedestal.
Put him on the map.
So,
But you know what? I'll say this, sorry, Slim. I'll say this though. He comes back and starts scoring goals.
yeah, so
They ain't gonna care.
All is forgiven.
They're not gonna care.
Maybe.
They're not gonna care.
Maybe, I hear you. That's why I'm conflicted with that
But
one.
is he coming back
personally.
though?
No.
He's
it's
not
just-
coming back, but it's just a rumor. Like,
rumours.
I tell you
I
what,
can't see it happening.
two
Unless
players.
it's a loan.
One player that is coming back and one player that might help in February. Ox should be back.
yes.
And
That's gonna be like a new signing,
and-
isn't it?
Riyad Brewster is going to be available from middle of February.
Will
I think.
Klopp throw Brewster in though?
I think that's why. I think that's why he got rid of Solanke.
Solanke.
You think so?
Yeah, Brewster
is
is
high on him.
Apparently, he went to
nasty.
Brewster's home and he had a word with him, and he said like, "You're very much in my plans." And just like I think Brewster signed a new contract recently as well, even though he's injured. So I think apparently, I don't know if Klopp went to his house, but they've had words, and Klopp said, "Look, I rate you. What you're in my plans."
Yeah, I think he was at the World Cup. I think he meant to have bailed him and said.
This was recent. This was recent. Apparently, what I read, but
and Brewster, I don't know if listeners out there have seen him. He's a fantastic player. Both feet, head, IQ. You know, my big thing. He's a very, very talented guy, and he's our future. Him, Cater, and a couple other players. Big player.
Great.
But Ox coming back.
Yeah, that's a big.
I think Ox is not. He's not going to be rushed though, is he? He's
No,
not.
he's not going to be rushed. But
I don't think we'll see Ox till maybe April. To be honest with you, I don't think.
nah, he'll be back before
reckon?
then.
You think so?
Yeah, a month for training. That guy's been. You watched some of his training videos. He ain't playing. If he's going to start full training in February, give him a month. End of Feb, I'd say. Mid-March.
Then I reckon April, but we'll see.
Yeah, we need him, mate. To them games, a bit of energy. Somebody who'd add what we're not doing now, which is players who are bursting through midfield, creating space for the front three.
All having a shot.
Someone who's fearless.
Yeah, it's fearless. It's exactly
fearless.
Do you know what I mean?
that's definitely Ox, isn't it? One of my questions was going to be, is anyone going to leave in the summer? But seeing as we're talking about January and investing, a few people have just touched on it with Solanke. A couple of people have left already in this window. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on what Klein going to Bournemouth on loan?
I don't mind
Solanke's
that
obviously
personally.
gone on a permanent. I think we did well out of the Solanke deal, didn't we?
Yeah,
I
I was just about to
it
say.
was 10 mil. 10 mil's the most we were going to pay for him, and I think we got rid of him for 19. And I think he's scored one goal and had I'm not sure of his appearances. So that was a good bit of business there. But
Mr. Edwards, man.
Yeah.
He needs his own statue.
thoughts on,
Seriously, now that guy's
He's
big.
doing a good job.
thoughts on those departures?
Solanke, like you said, Solanke. I wanted him to succeed again. He's one of them guys. He seemed like a decent player. Just didn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for you, does it? So it is. I was a bit surprised by Klein because I thought it'd have been decent cover, but I guess Klopp must have more confidence in Camacho. But I was
He knows
surprised
we
by
wanna
that.
play
You
RB
think
as well.
he rates Camacho that much that he was happy to get rid of Klein? Well, let Klein
It
go
would be
on
a
loan.
dangerous game to not have confidence in another player and let go of Klein, because Klein's not the greatest going forward, but he's usually solid defensively. So,
But is Camacho not leaving? I heard that he's gone alone to Sport and
I think they stopped it.
they cancelled it.
They stopped it. I think, from what I've understood, it must be something to do with the Klein thing. It's a
Okay.
big.
Milner's also used there as well, so he's using Milner as backup as cover for right back as well.
My
so
man
they've
can
got a
play
couple
there as
of
well. If he needs to
options.
be, Lovren can play right back as well.
And
if needs
Fabinho.
Ooh, I don't
Fabinho's
want
a
to
right.
see that.
be. He can do that.
I think Fabinho's
He's
more
played
of a
right back before. I think in the.
Did you just say Lovren?
Lovren
Yeah.
bombing down the wing.
Wow.
Not in
Bobbing
this
down the
system,
ring,
surely.
but like when you want to be really solid, like if you want to play at 3 centre backs in the back four, he's played in the right back before, I think.
No,
So
he's
you contradicted
coming.
yourself,
No,
mate.
he's
You don't
coming
be
as a
solid, you don't
substitute.
play
Yeah.
Lovren.
And playing.
Sorry,
I said you
You know
contradicted
what?
yourself. If you want to be solid, you don't play Lovren, man. Solid and Lovren.
I'm not madly against Lovren like you lot are, to be honest.
Me
with you.
neither. Me neither. But
Yeah.
that's not anything I ever want to see in my lifestyle.
Not right
Yeah.
back. I don't want to see him.
I think
there.
that would be time to turn,
he's
turn
okay,
the
but
television off.
I'm
and
not
go
saying
follow
bombing down the
rugby.
wing. Don't get it twisted. Like,
No, but-
if you're playing a big game, like, and you want,
He just
if
bombs, you don't
needs
go down
be,
the
you
wing.
can play there.
Well,
That's what I'm
stability.
saying. Yeah.
No, I mean, as I said, Fabinho plays right back for Brazil, so I suppose he could fit
Again,
in
him
there.
as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So-
options.
So we're not too bothered about Klein leaving then.
I'm
really.
not bothered at all.
Klein, no, Solanke, I would like to see him get a bit more like chances at the club, but
Nah, not for me.
you know,
No,
obviously,
I think he had his
but-
chances.
Yeah, not for me.
he's gone, so
Yeah, no, but
that's up to him.
I'm just saying what James was saying about having something different up front. Solanke was that in it. He was obviously good, decent in the air. Do you know what I mean? It was
Is he
that different
was he a
option.
bully
so-
though? Is he mean?
Yeah, but you know what? He might not be mean, but to be honest with you, like I'm with Shawn. I'd like to see him get his chance, and it is something different. Like, do you know what I mean? We could toss it in the box and he can attack it, but he's not just that. He is actually decent with his feet.
He is quite
Do you know what I mean? So I would have liked to have seen him give him more of a chance, but again, I'm going to repeat: in Klopp, I trust.
So do I. But
Thank you, Dominic.
rather than
Good luck.
Solanke, I'd have rather kept Ings than Solanke.
Would you?
I think Ings has got a bit of dog in him, and he's
Agent
decent in the
Ings.
air.
I like Danny, man. I like that.
So-
I like a player. I like a player who's got heart and who's willing to fight and
Solanke had his
just
chance.
run.
for me.
Run. I like you need you need those in your team. You can't just you need to sprinkle your team with those. But so all in all, I guess we're not too sad about the departures so far. But is anyone expecting any more?
Departures.
Yeah.
Not until the summer. I don't think we've got the squad to really let anybody else go.
No, I can't see any more going out.
Yeah.
No.
Summer, January, no.
What's happening with Lallana? Is he about? Is he fit? What is he
Do you
doing?
know what? I think Lallana's a whole podcast in himself, mate. So
Lallana's on the playground somewhere doing Cruyff turns.
let's leave Lallana alone
By
boy.
himself.
let's continue waxing lyrical because I'm going to talk about the December awards that were given out and our favourite person getting the first defender to get it since 1993. Don't want to be quoted on that because I'm not sure. I'm sure it was 93, the first defender to get it. So Van Dijk got Player of the Month for December. I mean, what more can this guy do, whatever? Like,
It's been christened, man. It's Thanos now, man.
Thanos.
I think that's it. That is his nickname, isn't it? It's gonna be. It has to be Thanos, isn't it?
Class.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolute
But also,
class.
Jurgen Klopp getting the award for manager.
Yeah,
of the
we
month.
went ham this.
How uncomfortable do you look in that picture with the? You can tell he doesn't like that, so he don't want the limelight. I
Wasn't
don't
he
think.
pointing at Van
Yeah,
Dijk?
he's pointing at Van Dijk. He's just like,
You
yeah,
and
look
that
at the
microphone
man.
got a love
it's
affair
getting
today,
crazy,
innit, man? It's really
My
trying to
long
leave you,
arms.
innit?
Arms as long as mine, mate.
Anyway, yeah. So they're not well deserved, if you ask me.
Oh, definitely.
he went
Rolls
ham
Royce,
December,
man.
And especially over a period like a Christmas period where obviously it's very busy
I
to
mean-
come away with those wins.
Yeah, that was.
And to
crazy.
only lose one game out of the Christmas period, I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I think actually in December, I think
We didn't
one
lose
of
in
the-
December.
In December, yeah.
one
in
of the
December
one of
we
the
didn't
team. I
lose,
think it's
yeah.
only once. It's ever been done once before. I think. I think Chelsea did it when they won the league. They didn't lose a game in
Good
December.
omen.
Silent
Good omen.
champions.
Good omen.
Yeah, I think
Good
it's
omen.
very very rare not to drop any points during that period because of the
We have got signs of champions, though. We have.
No, we have. No,
We're
yeah.
playing well, man. I mean, we should.
Of course.
So definitely, but I'd like to whisper it. I just like to
Yeah.
whisper it, man, because you know what I'm saying.
I
The
think it's
juju
that-
is strong, oh. You know what I mean? Yeah, so-
We're coming through like a lot of challenges. Like even today's one, another challenge
Massive,
kicked off.
massive.
A 1-0 win. Classic
Character and
professional
points, man. That's what
performance,
you know what I'm saying earlier. Character and
Games
points.
where we'd normally stumble, we're picking up points, and do you know what I mean? That's what you need
This
to do. if you-
is so this is one of my favourite games. Like you mentioned what the favourite games are. For me, there were the three of them: Watford, Burnley away, and this are my three favourite games of the season so far.
Okay, well, not to give all the limelight to Virgil and Klopp, there were two other players that. Wait, I know Salah won an award. Did Mane win one as well?
I think he came second.
second,
yeah.
second.
Okay, so
And
there
the
were two
African-
other players. Yeah, the Africans in our team, and can't talk about this award without talking about Salah and his dancing, man.
God.
He looked a bit stiff, man.
Yeah, he looked
Stiff for an African.
I missed it.
You missed it.
Oh, that was on
mate.
Instagram, yeah.
You got to see the clip, man. He looked a little bit stiff, man. I was like, for African, man, where's your rhythm, man?
Like Wizard Zonto, the Shaku, where's
Where's the moves?
Where's the moves there? You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
I don't think
that's.
he's. Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
more.
that's
He's more
Salah's fleet.
understated.
Yeah,
He's
of
more
course. I don't
conservative.
think that's
isn't he?
Salah's
I think
Yeah.
if the cameras are there, man, he's probably break down some of this
Yeah.
stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Popping and locking.
He's
you know
that
what I
guy
mean?
in it, running around in his underpants in his house, innit? He's that guy in it when no one's there.
There was a video of Klopp doing a little thing at New Year's as well, innit?
Yeah,
Klopp
no,
doing it.
yeah.
No, that
Christmas
was he actually said in an interview with Gary Neville that was after the Man United game, so it was nowhere near New Year's.
Oh, was it?
He said,
Okay.
yeah, it was actually after the Man United
He was
game.
getting down though.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
like,
getting
yeah,
down.
it was like.
But when you slap Man United, you know what I mean? When you get down.
I was.
So yeah, but no, the boys winning the what was the actual name of the award? African Player of the Year awards. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So Salah winning that.
Nah, deservedly so, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, like
absolutely.
who else could have got? Who else could have
Two
gone
seasons in a row he's won it as well, isn't it? Was it
Yeah.
2 years in a row he's won it. I
Yeah, he
think.
won it last year as
Yeah,
well,
he won it
yeah.
last year.
He was on
Yeah.
bit, man. He was on fire. I mean, he fired Egypt to the World Cup literally
He did,
single-handed.
he
Didn't
did,
score
yeah.
a hat trick or something in the.
I
Obviously,
think
for us as well, he's been tremendous. So.
Says something about our team though. We've got the first and second best players in Africa in our team. Do you know what I mean? So
Top loves him some black people.
He does.
yeah, no, it's good. It's good for the morale. It's good for the morale for Salah's morale. Do you know what I mean? I know
Absolutely.
he doesn't outwardly say it, but I think he likes the accolades he gets
Definitely.
singly. Do you know what I mean? I think that's good for any top
Yeah.
player. And I think if we do finally see this over the line this season, he would be a big reason why
definitely.
we win the league.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
He's got that desire, and every week he's performing now, so he's back to his best at the minute.
Yeah, he's being mentioned in the same breath as like top 5 players in the world. Do you know what I mean? Everyone thought that last season was a one-season wonder, and everyone was asking questions about him at the beginning of this season, and now he's answering all the questions. You know what I mean? His stats are back. He's top scorer, joint top scorer again. Do you know what I mean? So he's silencing the critics and doing what he does best. So long may that continue.
So, boys, on the last podcast we spoke about Fabinho, and while speaking about Fabinho, I said that I didn't want to call Fabinho a DM. I felt it was a disservice to Fabinho to call him a DM because he's so much more than a DM. And I asked for the listeners to get a little bit involved. So I want to give a shout out to Maverick S on that's subscribed to our YouTube channel on YouTube. Maverick S, thank you very much.
Well done, Maverick.
He's put a few suggestions forward as to what to call Fabinho. Yeah, he's put an advanced DM, so an ADM. He's also put progressive DM, which would be a PDM, a creative DM, CDM, probing DM.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Another PDM and a constructive DM.
Jeez,
so some good suggestions there,
good
like
ideas right there, man.
So let's pick one, man. Let's pick one. What are we gonna call Fabinho from now on? Personally,
I like ADM.
Sure, man. You just stole it from me. I think ADM. I think that's a good.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, name
Advanced
for his
DM.
position, advanced DM, because he does stay up with play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's there when it breaks down. So, anyone got any different views?
I think that's the one. I think that's.
I like that.
You like that one?
I like
If the shoe fits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where
But guys, just like Maverick did on YouTube, man, if you're listening to this and you don't agree with anything we said, or you agree with what we said, like, get involved. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Indeed.
Send a comment. Do you know what I mean? Find us on Instagram. What are we? Anfield. What are we again on Instagram? Anfield_South1.
Correct.
Even at us on Twitter. Do you see what I mean? At South Anfield. Just get involved. You know what I mean? And then, you know, like Maverick, you can get a shout out on the next podcast.
Can I give a
you know
little
what I
shout out
mean?
to somebody who's been helping us spread the word? He's a guy I used to work with, called Sini. He's been spreading the word for the podcast. So shout out to Simi.
Nice, love Simi, love. We like that. Do you know what I mean? We love people getting involved. Well, boys, that's our time. That's our time. We managed to get through a fair few things, man. It flies, doesn't it, James?
Yeah, absolutely.
It flies, man. That's why you got to get involved more often. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed.
I say I think I need to come to more podcasts. Every time I come here, man, we're on top of the league. You see me?
You said you're the reason, yeah.
Good luck, charm.
I didn't say it, but I got clock the speed down. You know what I mean? Joke.
Alright, nah, guys, it's been good, man. It's been emotional, man. As always, man, I've been your boy Slim, your host with the most, as I like to call myself.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Today we've had James with us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Shawn.
There's people.
Sini.
Next time.
And of course, Chris.
Thank you for listening, people.
What do you think, Kenny? Oh, yeah.